into this. All right, so quickly shifting this thing out. Game 3. Weibo EDG for EDG to survive. I'm going to quickly go see if I can hop on call and see if I can get Munch available here as well, so we can get ourselves... I don't know exactly how we're going to do this. I'm going to see what happens here. And, let's see it. Munch, buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, mate. How you get on?
Well, honestly, after that last game, I think I could use a bit of a heart rate check. So yeah, EDG lose this game, they're out of playoffs. It's feeling pretty tense.
Yeah. And Karma banned, Smolder banned, all of the B1s banned. Ari locked in for Xiaohu. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan because he looked pretty good on it the other day as well.
It definitely gives them some ability to maybe, like, go more aggressive on Xiaohu. He's been playing a lot of Karma recently. He's had some bad games. This series hasn't been a lot of them, though. It feels like Xiaohu's kind of kicked on the afterburners a little bit. We do have a change in the Snakes champion pool, though. It's not the infinite stacking of the Smolder, but the Sen and Nautilus gives Vampire an extra degree of tankiness for him to make some big plays, too. I don't mind this for EDG.
No, I think Sen is insanely strong. With Smolder out of the picture... I think Senna is one of the strongest AD carries. I think the AD carries that are stronger than Senna in my mind are like Smolder and Varus, and they're both banned. And the ones that can punish Senna are Lucian and Kalista.
Yeah.
And they're both banned. So I'm kind of liking the Senna pick.
So maybe the question is, okay, Weibo, look at this bot lane and go, that's a bit of an issue. What can they do topside? I mean, ZDZ, he might just lock in something like the Renekton or the Aatrox again, just to say, well, we can play around the Ahri Xin Sao, and then something very powerful in the top lane as well. Twisted Fate, I don't mind that either, because it's going to be permanently pushing and gives the gold card for both Xin Sao and Ahri to leverage off of. I think they've looked at that bot lane and said, nah, I'm just going to keep away from that for a bit.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised not to see the Vi alongside the Ahri, but at the same time, Vi has looked pretty terrible in the LPL recently. We've seen quite a bit of Vi coming back alongside the Ahri, alongside the Taliyah, even occasionally alongside Karma. It's not looked good. Like, it theoretically looks good, like on a draft, but it's not actually looked good in game. And Jace as well, back for Alan.
I also think Xin Sao has been really, really valuable against something like, well, obviously the Smolder, we've seen that a couple of times, but the Senna as well, because it reminds me of when we used to play back in the Jinx Aphelios meta. Xin Sao stops long-range carries being long-range carries, because he just pops the ult, and then you can start winning the fight in the duration of that Crescent Guard, and hope that things work out. Vi is a lot more squishy in that regard, and when you've got another long-range champion like the Jace on the table too, the value of the Jace is starting to go up as a frontline tank, if not the ability to stick to lower-range targets.
We'll see if they can pull it off. I've just... since we're not doing an official cast, I can just tell you, I'm sharing my screen with you on Discord. I've got Nitro, so it should be an HD stream, just so we can be synced up, because I found trying to cast and you're both watching different Chinese players is a fucking nightmare.
Okay, I think this will work for me. Yeah, I've got it up now, so hopefully that's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
this is gonna be janky as heck, folks.
Billy
like,
stream as well.
I just felt like it would be such a shame to not do this justice, because I mean, this could be the game where EDG missed playoffs for what, only the second time in their history. I think they did it once before. Like, this is.
I think they did in 2020, right?
I think it was 2020 summer. Maybe they missed that one, but it's been a long time since they've done it, if they have missed it at all.
Yeah. This, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Oh, he froze for a second there. I'm gonna be honest. Even if they like win this series, the odds of them making playoffs are still astronomically low. Like, they need a miracle at this point, but if they lose now, they are actually out for good. The Jax banned, obviously towards Monkey in the jungle, or potentially towards Ala top. We've seen a lot of Jax Ala top. Could be Fisher with the Chase mid, but I don't think so. I think it'll be Ala taking Jace top.
Yeah, since he's been one of the very few players to play that Jace top as well. I haven't always loved the way that EDG play around it. It feels like often Ala is still put behind in the early game. I think both times I've seen it been played, he's ended up 0-2, 0-3. And when you have Twisted Fate, Ahri, and Xin Sao, it's going to be a fist fight topside. I mean, there are so many squishy champions with the ability to combo onto it. You can see that, of course, the Twisted Fate is a flex pick down to the AD carry as well. I kind of assumed it might go to ZDC, but instead it is the Camille. We saw this earlier in the day as well. Now we have Twisted Fate Alistair, so the Twisted Fate can just leave the center lane. The Camille can start a fight topside, and it really feels like Weibo are looking to just pin down these squishy carries like the Jace, the Orianna, and the Senna.
See if they can pin him down. I like the Camille. I'm a big fan of the Camille. We get the Volibear as well. We've not seen much Volibear in the LPL yet. It's not looked incredible, but it has been banned quite a few times today. So excited to see what Monkey can do. I missed the start of the first game today, which I think had Volibear in.
It did, and it looked really good, is the thing.
It looked really good, did it? I missed a chunk of that because of the beating earlier.
It looked good, but it looked good because people were engaging into the Volibear, who didn't end up using ult, and then used the ult to chase afterwards. In this kind of game, I feel like the Volibear, if they're the one that's being engaged onto, it's going to be, folks, it's going to be a mess. This Volibear is a very powerful champion in the early game. Even once you get to like the first boots and one item, Volibear is one of the earliest hitting junglers in the game. So having that versus the Xin Sao, that's going to be a real fist fight even in the jungle matchup. And I kind of like that we're going away from the scaling and just saying we want to seize this series by our own hands.
Seize it by the balls. We'll see. Honestly, at this point, this is not hysterics. This is Nymaera. Everyone, yeah, I forgot to introduce you.
Hello.
Everyone, this is Nymaera. Everyone on Nymaera's stream, I'm Munchables.
Yeah, I just put you in the title. Basically, just things went wild. I was going to go see Dune 2 today. I want everyone to know, I gave up the chance to see that in IMAX because I'm sat here thinking, I really want to see what happens with this game. So yeah, we're both casting tomorrow as well. You'll catch us on the main stream. But we're just going to give you an early preview as it stands.
Yeah, I'm going to add your name to my titles as well. Here we go. Game number 3. It's an absolute turbo banger. Game number 2 was one of the games of all time. And let's see what happened. I mean, it's just pure damage on both sides, right? So much damage on both of these compositions. I feel like this has to be a good game.
Yeah, I think that when I look at this kind of composition, I just feel like everything is going to explode topside. The twist, even if the Twisted Fate was top lane as well, it would have been a very similar identity. The fact that they flexed it down to bot side for Light to have it, who can then teleport out of his lane and then go affect topside as well, should the Snake and Vampire lose lane pressure, which you can do. Send and Ultis is fine in early lane, but they're not necessarily the most oppressive. If Weibo find an early opportunity to pull the trigger, I think EDG are going to have a very hard time righting the ship.
We'll have to see. I'm curious what on earth this is going to look like in terms of compositions and stuff. Good morning, KC. Hey! Thank you so much for the resub, KC. I appreciate that, man. As this is going to have to be a bit of a chill cast, because I don't want to fully leave the talking to chat aspect. I enjoy chat.
Sure thing. All right, that works for me.
Good vibes with chat. But definitely when it comes to team fights and when it comes to the fast-paced, ZDZ starting off strong. I feel like this is one of those matchups where there is some aspect of a skill matchup here. The fact that obviously Camille has a huge all-in angle at level 6. It's all about how you play the lane up until that point as well, whether you can get the sustain with the W, whether Jace can get a lot of the poke down.
Also kind of feels like with Camille, most Camille lanes versus squishier champions you can trade back heavily is about how you use your passive. I think the Gangplank lane is another one like that, where you used to try and fly in with the hook shot, get that hit so you get the extra attack speed, trade with your passive, and then back out until you get your passive back. So Ala, you know, he's been good in the individual trades. That's something which I think he'll do well against EDZ. But I really have to see who's going to influence this game first, because Jace lanes are never alone. Someone wants to go mess with Jace. So see that Monkey, see that Xiaohao, both towards the top side of the map right now. In fact, actually, Xiaohao might be going for a bit of a reverse clear. He's taken Raptors and then gone onto his top side. He might run into Monkey here, actually, if he's not careful. He's spotted out that Wolves are up still.
He might have a little duke in the tri-brush, honestly, Xiaohao. Moving up towards top lane, walked over a ward. He's been spotted now. Monkey behind enemy lines. He has to come all the way around, though. It's going to be a long time till Monkey can influence this play. Ala is essentially in a 2v1 for the time being. Can flash towards his jungler here. The lightning comes down. Ala 1 HP and he survives! The flash after first blood. Fantastic play in the 2v1 from Ala. Monkey comes in to save the day.
I mean, so many times we've seen this pick for Ala not work out because his jungler is there second to the play. And in fairness, Monkey is second there to the play again. But he comes there just in time, like Gandalf over the top of the hill. And the EDG get themselves something in topside. This is so important. It means that you don't have a flash on the Camille, you don't have a flash on your Xin Sao now. This was a real shotgun gank. You had one chance to make this work with your summoners. I feel like this is a huge swing and a miss, and Ala being ahead of the game is a big thing for EDG.
Great E flash there as well. Channels the E and then flashes while it's still going. Because it goes through anyway, even if you get out of range once you start casting the ability. So really nice bit of mechanics coming out from Ala. And now he starts to bully ZDZ in all kinds of trouble. Just about dodges the shock blast, but Allah, this is his playground.
Yeah, so, okay, Jace, in terms of the checklist of what EDG want to do against Weibo's composition, getting the Jace ahead is really quite big. Now, there's every chance that Jace kind of gets teleported on or kind of TF ulted on later into the game, but this is so important because it means that the Camille can't leave top lane and make a mess somewhere else. Like we saw earlier today, Breathe have an absurd Camille game where he just kind of like got out of lane and was such a side lane presence, but then could fly into the rest of the team as well and be a big threat there. So EDG, maybe they have to wait until the Senna ult comes online before they can make another play topside, but it's already going strong for them.
Feels like a good start, that's for sure. Monkey gonna continue to play towards the top side here, clearing up in that direction. Goes for the Scuttle Crab there. You can see the Scuttle Crab on the bot side went the way of Xiaohao. Grub's coming up in 10 seconds. And honestly, prio mid for Fisher, prio top for Allah in a big way. It feels pretty uncontestable right now for Xiaohao, these grubs.
Yeah, well, he has flash at least. Oh, I was actually wrong, by the way. Xiaohao actually does still have his flash as Monkey that blew his in the earlier play. Gives Xiaohao some ability to maybe slip off a vision somewhere. Kind of hard to do that, though, when Monkey gets to push up with the lanes, which you just mentioned as well. Crisp, though, actually making his way towards it. Fisher might have to blow his flash all the same.
Oh, yeah. Charm for flash. It's potentially a window. Nice roam coming out here. As the snake is moving over, but he's still in the jungle for now. And actually, Monkey, 2 out of 2 so far. And it's Xiaohao pushed away as Allah still just continuing to body ZDZ at the top side. Means that it is 3 grubs taken by EDG. I thought there was going to be more from Weibo there after the rope. Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't think this gets much better for them. They don't have the Volibear level 6 for the Ohm Record turn-off tower, but ZDZ, if he has to back off this tower even, it sucks so bad for them. But we do have jungle support from both teams roaming.
ZDC's level 6 at this point. Xiaohao's on the tower. They can't go for the dive. That would have been terrifying to go for against the level 6 Camille with the jungler there as well. In the meantime, Shockwave actually landed mid. So a bit of pressure coming out from Fisher onto Xiaohu. And look at the CS lead mid.
Fish is doing a really good job here. I have to say, when it comes to Ahri matchups, a lot of people say, you know, stuff like Fizz and Aurelia, maybe something like a Yasuo can contend with the Ahri. A lot of the time it's actually mages which really hurt Ahri, because they just throw out like a single shockwave like we saw there, or a QW later into the game as well. And then Ahri's half HP and she can't just push up and roam. So if Fisher getting an early lead here and making sure that they're just stopping Xiaohu from... Oh my god, Allah. They're just going to stopping Xiaohu from being able to leave lane. It's really important, considering that we've highlighted the whole game. Weibo want to brawl around topside. Stopping Xiaohu joining that equation, it's a big thing.
Man, top feels turbo doomed for CDC. I know we've already talked about it, but my god, stopping the recall there. The wave is completely frozen. They're even in CS right now. But that's not going to last. That is not going to last. Good God.
Right now, I mean, ZDZ doesn't have teleport. No one's on the top side of the map. Arlo's just going to wait here and wait for the enemy minions to clear out some of these too. He can start building up a slow crash to get himself a safe recall at some point. I think by that point, Monkey can help shield his lane too. He is more than happy to just help her. He's just tending to the garden and top side and just making sure that the weeds, his own minions, are just getting cut down to size.
Yeah, too right. ZDZ now. Off the back of this freeze, we've gone from the Alice slightly behind in CS to 10 CS up now. Off the back of this one freeze, and it's not even broken just yet. Xiaohao might have to come top just to push this in. ZDZ, you can see on the top left of your screen, he's taken half of his health trying to get this wave in, desperately trying to push it.
He just came back with full HP as well. Like, this is with Arlo.
I don't think he's even broken the freeze.
Yeah, I don't think he might have just got the crash. I really want his observers to go back up there, because that's actually one of the most important things that's going to happen in the next minute or two. He's had to back off from the lane. You know, I think Arlo can actually just set up another freeze again. That's even worse. Hook lines and bot side, I don't think that's even going to lead to that much. Like, Weibo, they need to really help this top side. Monkey is going top side too now to help Arlo push it back out, so he can finally get a reset and get a buy-in.
This is kind of brutal, honestly. As, yeah, the slow push will finally be happening on the top side, so Allah should be able to crash this one. He won't have the same issues with crashing the wave that CDC was just having, because he's quite happy to take that fight. Should be able to just one-shot the casters, move away, crash this wave. Xiaohao gonna hover, just to make sure no dive can come up through. Monkey moves into the lane brush. This will be at least one plate here.
I was wondering if they were going to greed for that. Xiaohao had flash, you have the Kinetic Ultimatum, there's a chance you can trap Ala under turret. Not going to be the case, though. Again, everyone just beelining towards topside, though. I mean, I think Weibo don't want this to get any worse than it already is.
Certainly not. And EDG would love for Ala to keep going the way he's going, so Monkey making sure to be around that top side when Ala's crashing the wave, make sure his top lane is protected. That's Eclipse finished already. Has a pretty sizable CS lead up top. And he's moving back into that lane as well. I think the minions are going to arrive just in time to stop the crash as well. So Ala, he's 10 CS up now, but there is a bunch of minions for him to collect when he gets back up to the top lane as well. So it's only going from bad to worse for ZDC. Big CS lead in the mid lane for Fisher as well. And in the meantime, Snake just picking up souls, roaming around the map. They've left Vampire bot for a lot of this game, but Vampire's moving up because Herald's up onto... Oh, sorry, Grub's second spawn are on the map. ZDZ's the target for now. Oh, the stun doesn't quite land. Root will, though.
And the thing is, you now have the level 6 on the volley bear, so there's every chance that your tower won't protect you too if you make a big enough mistake. It's going to be, as it stands, Grub's going over. You don't have level 6 on Crisp. Vampire does because it's courtesy of the center lane, so in terms of the support versus not quite support, it's advantage over to EDG. Chances of some flashes coming topside, though. Here comes TF.
Here we go. Play on towards Ala. They take him down. Xiaohao grabbing that kill. And that evens up the kill score. Weibo getting themselves onto the board. But this is 6 grubs taken now for EDG. They trade it for their top laner. In the meantime, Xiaohu trying to do some work bot, but will just be cleared by Fisher. Just a singular plate there. And now EDG all move towards the mid lane. I don't think they can realistically threaten on the tower with all the plates up, but they can move towards Dragon.
I think it's just forcing someone to respond in mid lane so they know. Oh no, Ala, dude, you were so far ahead of this game. Please don't do this. He has flash. I think he's blowing it minimum.
Oh god. I don't know if this TP was needed, to be honest. It was already 3v1 on the dive. Xiaohu comes in to collect the kill, and honestly, I'm more than happy to see Xiaohu the benefactor of the play.
Oh man, Xiaohu teleports in, at least he justifies his own teleport, I suppose. It leaves bot lane alone for plates to go over to EDG. We've had a lot of very quick map movements in the last minute or two. The Snake's going to get a lot of gold from this alongside Fisher. And of course, when you've got the, I'm going to call it the dieting center because it's intermittently fasting. He gets a lot of gold from this, which he won't normally get from minions. The fact that he'll then get to, you know, a quick, I mean, it might be an Umbral Glaive, might be a Yomu's or something like that. I think EDG are happy taking that one, despite the fact that Weibo managed to shut down a bit of this top lane threat. They've managed to get some gold elsewhere, and EDG now with a bit of an interesting scenario of what do they do with this Jace who's just chain died a couple of times.
Yeah, I will say, Ala, while he has died a couple of times, it has been like huge investment from the side of Weibo. Like EDG have gained a lot elsewhere on the map from that, and it's not like he had a bunch of kills, so there wasn't a significant bounty to gain from Ala. So yeah. He's still definitely in a good position. He's still definitely ahead of ZDZ up in that top side. And he's still definitely going to be a threat later on. The fact that he got such a good early lethality item to start his game. Look how cautious he's being now. There's no one anywhere near him, but he doesn't know that. And after the last couple of minutes, he's not risking anything.
Not a third time. I can't stand that again. The thing with the Eclipse is that also it just gives you such good stats. It has moved away from being a lethality item, but it gives you like 70 AD, which is really good for someone like that. And even just the proc and the shield means that, you know, we were talking about how Camille was talking about trading with passive earlier. Really hard to do that. Monkey has ult. He can just chancel a tower here.
Oh, the flash comes out from light, but there's no escaping that combo. Monkey flash stun, followed by Fisher's ultimate. Beautiful kill.
Is this the most proactive we've ever seen EDG this split? I feel like they're really starting to put some pieces together, at least in this series. I am going to say it's too little too late, but given that they've actually done some good stuff around Ala and it feels like they've managed to get some decent value out of the movements after that, and now Monkey starting to flash forward, like, I'm glad to at least see them not just kind of slide into a win or like kind of or other collapse from what happened in that last game. It feels like they are actually being proactive.
I'm glad the series isn't just won by Smolders.
Oh, God,
on either side, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, we did see a little bit of proactivity from EDG when Monkey first joined in. I think he played like a Brand game. He played a Graves game that was like quite aggressive. So we have seen some signs of life, and I was kind of hyped about EDG when we saw that. And then it just seemed to like vanish for a series or two. Like it started to be there, and then it went away again. I like they're returning to it. I like that we're seeing this. But whether or not they can keep it up is a different question. I don't know if you saw earlier.
He's on vision here.
Just on the topic. Hang on,
I don't have time
to talk about this.
Okay, we're good. We're right. I was just sat there like, there's a lot of vision here.
I don't know. I think this might be a fight. Stun comes through onto Crisp. TP immediately. Fisher has flash and will be forced to use it. Vampire's TP'd real deep for this one. Light the target, but he gets to the backside of the plate. Crisp, 1 HP and doesn't have his ultimate. As Xiaohao forced to flash away. ZDZ, there is no escape. Taken down by the railgun of the Snake. And now Xiaohao slowed as well. The Snake is taking over this fight. The root lands and Vampire takes another.
And despite all of the vision set up for that, everyone just shows up and says, all right, we're going to have a fist fight. Vampire starts things off very, very aggressively, but somehow manages to walk out. I mean, he's a tanky Nautilus. This is actually one of the bonuses we said from the draft. When you've got the center in the Nautilus, Vampire, we know he likes to be aggressive with his hooks, regardless of how successful they've been. Having that extra degree of tankiness can really help them in regards to that. As we go into the replay and just kind of see, yeah, it was a bit of a mess.
A huge mess, honestly. But Vampire just flashes straight on to, like, get stunned up. But then, in the meantime, Crisp already used his ult. In the previous bit of play, Xiaohu 1v1ing Ala. WR! The Q comes through, and it's a solo kill for Xiaohu.
So, we were talking about, hey, there might be some issues with Ala kind of chain dying now. As soon as that Jace flash is down, it feels kind of awkward, but being able to pick that up onto Xiaohu means that he can get a little bit more gold in pocket as well. Go into a replay of this. It's pretty simple, really. Ala's not there at full HP, and yes, he has an Eclipse, which means that you can get some good trading back, but Xiaohu means that make sure that he doesn't walk into melee range and just finishes him off.
The charm stopping the Q as well, kind of huge from Xiaohu. Nicely timed there. But I just love the Ahri as an assassin again, man.
Yes, me too.
Everfrost is gone. No more of the vegan builds. Ahri does damage. Ahri can 1v1 the enemy Jace top. Like, it feels so good to be back to the days where Ahri is actually a damage dealer. It's so much more fun to watch. Speaking of fun to watch, Monkey is enjoying watching this plate of meat who's trying to waddle away from him, but that's a snack if ever I've seen one. And Fish are going to be the ones to gobble it up.
I mean, you can even see Xiaohu. He might be an assassin who can win 1v1s, but he doesn't want to be stuck here. Crisp delays for his mid laner and gives up his life for the Ahri who escapes.
Xiaohu's just like, see ya, Crisp. I'm out of here. No way I'm sticking around for this one. Herald in on the top side. This is going to be a tier 2 as well.
I mean, they have the Herald charging forward. EDG, after holding on for... I thought he was going to slam into the wall there, okay? Snake just about to passes the driving test. But EDG, after losing such a heartbreaking game 2, the fact that they've come back, been proactive, and kept forcing plays, and actually those plays are working out, I'm glad to see that they didn't just mentally collapse from game 2. But I guess they've had a bit of practice at heartbreak and dealing with it in this split so far.
They certainly have. No, definitely not short on heartbreak for this team. Oh, double TP on the bot side.
Oh, we missed this one.
How is Ala so fast? Oh my god, he was running at the speed of light after the TP there. Yeah, Ala having a bit of a hard time, but in Ala's defense, while I know everyone in chat is having a bit of fun at his expense, he has been playing like 1v3 in a lot of these plays. Obviously, the death versus Xiaohu was 1v1, but aside from that, it's not exactly been fair fights for him. Still up in CS, still up in items right now, as they look to really put the aggression on. It's 17 minutes into the game and they're sieging tier 2s. This is an EDG that I've been craving to see all year.
And part of this is just Volibear. You know, as soon as you get level 11 of Volibear as well, the difference between rank 1 and rank 2 is absolutely absurd. But when you're defending inner turrets or inhibitor turrets, you realize you're actually not safe, because Volibear can just fly over the wall. He has a flash for a stun as well. It's really dangerous to face up against Monkey, who's, you know, 0-0-6, gone for the Dead Man's Plate, hasn't even gone towards something like the Knight's Vow, which we sometimes see from everyone that used to be building Frozen Heart before. It means he could just run at you. And what do you do here? I mean, the Twisted Fate, you can maybe throw a gold card. Well, you know, the ult goes through that. You go unstoppable. Really dangerous for Weibo to let this Volibear get off the vision, even when you think you're safe under your turrets.
Someone in chat saying, "End now, JDG." I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but neither of these teams is JDG. If you're looking for a JDG win today, you're going to be sorely disappointed.
Yeah, do you want to just throw in a replay in the background? You know what I've done? You know what sometimes I've been doing when we have the simultaneous games? I need to satisfy, like, the TikTok meta of having, you know, one game in one corner, another game in the other one, and I figure we can just put, like, Subway Surfers in the other corner just to really satisfy everyone who just don't want to have a single coherent thought.
I can't bear that myself. I can only concentrate on one thing at a time. People say that the Subway Surface thing is like an ADHD thing. I have ADHD. And if there's something else on the screen, I can't concentrate on the thing that I'm meant to be concentrating on.
Right,
so,
you can only focus on the one thing at a time, but it's the hyperfixation part of it.
I find it impossible. It just breaks my brain. It breaks my brain. Anyway, right now, Baron coming up onto the map. 6-3. EDG, nice, fast, aggressive play here. They've got the scaling composition as well. Like, we're not really talked about 5v5s and what will happen later, because we were kind of sorting out the stream at the start of the game. But like Senna scaling, Orianna scaling, you've got nice meaty frontline in the farming Nautilus and the Volibear, and then you've got the range advantage with the Jace as well. We could be in trouble here, as that's a nice easy pick onto the Snake. Monkey could be next as Ala TPs into the play as well. Crisp taking a bit of damage. Monkey forced to use his ultimate just to escape here. Vampire should be taken down as well. Hunted back in. Triple depth charge. The charm does land, but Vampire should be able to get out of this one. He's tanky. Is he tanky enough? No! The lightning from the sky from Monkey isn't enough to deter Weibo.
Man, the fact that everyone can arrive at plays so quickly, Xiaohu pushing the ult early, you've got the Twisted Fate that can show up to you, means that whenever anyone is picked off, expect like 3 or 4 more people to just kind of show up on your screen in the next minute or two. And EDG, I mean, they've largely been running the last few minutes. The fact that they kind of leave an opening for a really easy combo to land onto the Snake, that's kind of disappointing from them. I feel like they need to be really careful around this, and despite the fact that there was the Shroud, the good ward into the Shroud means that they can spot the center, go for the combo, go for the fight afterwards.
Fantastic pick from Weibo. Someone in chat as well asking, yeah, we're doing a real cast, Ikari. Someone in chat asking, like, is there a win condition for Weibo? Is this over? Absolutely not. It's not over. As in, absolutely not to the, is it over, not is there a win condition? It's all about picks. It's all about picks for Weibo. I will say, it's the harder style to play, especially when you're behind.
And I guess the Senna ult too. So you have Ari, who's really good at killing the Orianna, the Senna, and the Jace as well. Not very good at killing tanks. It's one of the worst things about Ari in this season. You're great at assassinating, not great at actually being DPS. We saw Knight go for a Leandri's build, but not seeing that here. And I think it's the right call, because you're meant to be assassinating alongside the Camille, and with the Twisted Fate ultimate as well. If EDG step out of position like they did in that mid lane, Weibo can pounce really, really quickly. So it's on EDG to position well. It's on them to use the Senna ult well as well. But Weibo have plenty of tools to punish EDG if they make missteps. And they are very much a flawed team. They've been doing that a little bit. Right now, they might catch the Snake again.
Oh, boy. Okay, ward spotted out. They warded over at the worst possible second because it let the Snake know that they were there. And he walks away with his life. Drake up in a minute's time. It feels like EDG, they really want to keep this rolling, because if they can get an Ocean Soul with these front line, oh my god, it's going to be so hard for Weibo to find those picks that they need.
It's on hard mode, but then again, I feel like Weibo have been putting themselves in hard mode for a lot of this split too. I mean, Weibo, it's kind of worth noting in this game too, talks about, you know, EDG, they will be mathematically out of playoffs for this series. We expect them to be out of playoffs anyway at some point. It would be a start of a very rough road for them. I don't want to, like, pin it down. This is just like a symbolic moment if they go out here. Weibo, if they lose this series, they are having their neck breathed on by LNG right now. LNG were lucky to get away with their own series win the other day. Weibo are in 10th. If they drop this series, there is a very real world where they're out of playoffs.
Yeah, and it's the same for AL. AL in a similar position after the loss today. LNG, like you say, looking to pounce, looking to steal someone's spot in playoffs. There's a couple of teams giving an opening here. Crisp. Oh no, the hook goes wide from Vampire. It's a bit of a disaster. Still huge damage onto Crisp anyway, as he is chunked out. Ult comes into play, but he can't survive that one. Ala to pick up the kill. And now suddenly Baron on the cards for EDG.
And they already used the TF ult for that too. So you use the TF ult, your front line is down. This is all on Xiaohao trying to do something. ZDZ is teleporting for an inhibitor strokes. They don't want to go for the fight. I don't think he's looking for a flank. They're giving up Baron, maybe looking for a miracle steal.
TP for TP. Someone else has gone to answer. I think it's Fisher. As in they go 50-50 on this one. The damage from Xiaohu. Ala gets a shield from the railgun, but is it enough at this point? Xiaohu is onto the back line. The snake goes down. They won the fight. Weibo make the magic happen, and Fisher left alone in the middle of nowhere. Suddenly, actually in a 1v1 with ZDZ. Fisher might go down, and he flubs the flash as well. Weibo find an ace.
Oh, it's a full team ace when EDG were in complete control of the game. They just got a pick onto Crisp. There was no TFL. This was where the game was meant to be won, just like in game 2. But when push comes to shove, this team has just not been able to clutch it out. They throw another game, Munch.
Absolute heartbreak for EDG. And I will say, Xiaohu is having a whale of a time in this game. The Ari is looking clean as hell. He sets it all up for the team. And Light as well, getting so much damage down.
You know, funnily enough, you mentioned about Xiaohu. Back in 22, when Ari reached kind of modern meta, it was Xiaohu and Faker who were the best Aris in the world. Xiaohu's not always shown that level of form, but every so often you see him being able to join in with the fights like this, and it allows Light to just free fire. The front line and the follow-up is so nice, and ZDZ, who already teleported towards that top side, slips off a vision and manages to punish that last kill as well onto Fisher. Oh, God, I just feel so bad for EDG. This is 2 games, realistically, where they've done the hard work and they've thrown it away.
It's so painful to see, but for Weibo, my God, they must be over the moon. They're back in with a chance. The gold swing is obscene. They've gone from down in gold to up almost 5,000 at this point. Crazy swing in terms of that gold. Xiaohu nearly one-shot both Ala and the Snake simultaneously there. I said Ari does damage. With Malignant, when they're all in Baron Pit, Ari does crazy damage.
So, I mean, the Malignance, when the burn starts going on them as well, gives you that magic pen. And, like, there's no resists on the Snake or Ala. Yeah, you've got, like, a spell shield from the Edge of Night, and you've got the Eclipse shield as well. They can help you in some ways, but against squishies, Ari really puts stuff out right now. And you see that Xiaohu, he's been in the right place to do it, whilst also not putting himself under threat of a Nautilus hook or something like that. Now, I'm not going to say that's going to continue for the rest of the game. I'm sure that we'll have a shock twist or turn to be prepared for as it comes through, but as it stands right now, Weibo pushing in towards the turrets. Ari safely pushing in that top side, where that inhib is already down, and stopping EDG from grouping up as 5.
Xiaohu taking a chunk to start the fight off. But the route goes wide, so they'll survive. Xiaohu pushing into the top side as well. And ZDZ, he's loving having a Baron. Camille split pushing all game long. That's now got a Baron to work with as well. This is literally what you dream of as a Camille player. Xiaohu forced to use his ultimate.
Oh, God.
Railgun down to... What? The diving in the meantime. ZDZ just goes under the tower. Light and Crisp went in to help out as well. This is going to be triple inhib. The speed at which Weibo have flipped everything on its head is unbelievable.
I feel like we should rename this team to EDJ. It's Edward Jenga. This tower has completely fallen apart within minutes.
I hope there's not a drinking game on each brick, because they are going to be battered at the end of this one. Shockwave goes wide. ZDZ dives in. Charm lands once again. Xiaohu is taking them apart. And so Xiaohu, as he dives onto Fisher. In the meantime, Xiaohu forcing them onto the Nexus. The Snake doesn't have the damage to do anything about it. ZDZ threatens Monkey once more. Weibo in 27 minutes after a ridiculous series finally finish things out and delete EDG from playoffs.
It is a symbolic moment. EDG missing playoffs only for the 2nd time in their organization's history. Thank you so much for joining me for this cast, and let me cast with you, Munch. It was fun to see this. Kind of terrifying to see it another way too, as Weibo. Look, I'm not going to say they feel good about this win. It is very much relief over any positive feelings.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, honestly, for both teams. I think Weibo, definitely game 3 was their most comfortable game, even though they fell significantly behind for a good part of it. This was not a good series for either team. Weibo keep their playoff streams alive, though. An important win on the board for them in terms of the standings, but still, when it comes to those best of 5s, there's a lot of work to do for Weibo.
I have to go see Dune 2, which is starting in about 2 minutes in a cinema near me. I'm going to have to run. I'm going to raid your channel. Thank you so much for letting me cast with you as well. Yeah, for those that joined me today, it's been a bit weird, but I'll head off. And folks, thank you so much for watching both of us here as well.
Quick shout out as well. First off, thanks for casting with me, dude. But also, anyone in Nymaera's chat, if you want to hear from the players in the winners interview, I've got a guy that's going to translate the interview for us. So if you want to come on over to my stream, we'll be listening to the interview. So
I'll see you there, buddy. All right, I'm going to drop out a call. Enjoy the interview, and we'll see you around.